In human nature, there's an inbuilt programming, attraction, and appeal towards what is beautiful, what is adorned, what is attractive. And so our human nature automatically, when it perceives something as good looking, appealing, attractive, excellent, we are drawn towards that person or that thing. This is inherent in our nature. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, زُيِّنَ لِلنَّاسِ حُبُّ الشَّهَوَاتِ, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, all these distractions that we have in this world, He has made them beautified. He has made them attractive. He has made them tempting. So our human nature, ourselves, our egos are drawn towards these temptations. And what are these temptations? They vary for different individuals. Some individuals have preference for honor, for regard, for worth. When some people come into positions of power, they exploit that power. They use administrative authority. And in that power and position of authority, they denigrate people, they push people down. However, when they are removed from that post or position of authority, they feel a sense of disappointment. They feel a sense of emptiness and void. For their temptation in this world is deceit. Other people have different temptations and weaknesses. For some people, it is as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, An-nisa wal-baneen, their weakness, it is family. Whether the temptation for women, and for women vice versa, the temptation for men. This is evil glances that we have which we should not have. Impure visions, distractions that we busy ourselves with that we should not have. And then al-baneen, for some people their test and their examination are their children, their offspring. In psychology, certain psychologists say that when a certain father or mother are too invested in their children, there is a moderate level of love, attraction, connection with your children. And there is less than moderate level of connection, love, intimacy, kindness, care for your children. And then there's a state of exaggeration which is beyond any limits, which becomes protective, which becomes possessive. You cannot see your child, your son or daughter, leave your sight. You're fearful when they go to school. You're fearful when they go to work, when they go to university. You think they may not come back, or that they may lose interest in you, or that they will have other friendships and company. There are certain parents who are very protective, very possessive, and deeply connected beyond what is moderate. And so certain psychologists say these individuals are actually attracted to themselves because they see their children as reflections of themselves. So within their human nature, within their psyche, they see their children as a reflection of their personality, of their psyche, of their body, of their spirituality. And so this over-possessive, protective, exhaustive connection with children, some psychologists say, it is a sign that one is too deeply absorbed within themselves. Because in the upbringing of a child, in a healthy development of a child, you have to allow a degree of freedom within limits. You have to allow them to grow intellectually, stimulate their creativity, allow them to make mistakes within limits, allow them to fall down and learn what it is to get up. Allow them to be exposed to the dangers of this world, to the flaws of this world, so that when they are older, they can differentiate between right and wrong. When you safeguard a child too much, you find sometimes when they go to university, their workplaces, or they become mature individuals, because their parents have made all the choices for them. You should do this, you should not do that. If you be pious, this is the reward. If you are not pious, your parents will tell you, this is the punishment. For children whose parents have told them everything growing up and have not had the opportunity to be able to differentiate between right and wrong, when they grow older, they do not have the tools to determine what is right and wrong. And a lot of them perish and slip on the path, and they lose the way of piety and righteousness. They have not been equipped at a young age. This was just a bit of a sidetrack, but for some people, their temptation is al-banin, offspring. This verse refers to. For other individuals, they may not have problems with impure glances. They may not have problems with offspring. Their temptation is not to do with their family. Their temptations is to do with material possessions, with riches, with wealth, with money, with investments, with assets, with what is in their pocket and what is leaving their pocket. The love for money is so dire and it's so powerful that it has strayed them away from the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They lose and they become fearful and anxious and depressed. And when they gain, they are so satisfied, they are absorbed and intoxicated in this thought of money. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَالْقَنَاطِيرِ الْمُقَنْطَرَةِ مِنَ الذَّهَبِ وَالْفِضَّةِ وَالْخَيْلِ الْمُسَوَّمَةِ وَالْأَنْعَامِ وَالْحَرْثِ. The treasures of gold and silver. In modern day terms, this means the love for properties and assets and investments. وَالْخَيْلِ الْمُسَوَّمَةِ. In those days, the Arabs used to cherish racing horses and breeds of Arab background and lineage. They were slender and slim, and they used to gallop very fast. Now in this day and age, many of us have no interest in horses. But the temptation that some of us have are for perhaps luxurious supercars, or for SUVs, or for the best ride that you can imagine and you can see. Unless you are a genuine enthusiast of automobiles and cars, most people use these cars, use these automobiles as a sign of privilege, as a sign of wealth, as a sign of showing off, to display your wealth, to display how influential you are.